Okay, here we go. Day number 4. I have only done this recording a few times, but this time's a charm, right? Anyhow, a lot has happened today. I finalized getting all the recycling collected. Though it's not considered a job, it brings in an income. My body is breaking down from it, so I'm working to find something else, which is what this channel has come to be. Um, I'm working on PCR, which is post-consumer re, repurposing. It's post-consumer repurposing. Basically, making something from nothing, taking pieces that people would think of as trash and making something beautiful, which I have shown a few times here. Which brings me to the reason that I said about um, I wonder if I did that in my last shoot. Anyhow, um, basically I was on a call this morning and found out that they weren't going to happen anymore. So idea popped in my head. I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna go live on my channel, and I am going to demonstrate in the same time as these calls. I'm going to demonstrate something, um, a product, a piece, an idea, something to create for yourself, something that can be turned into something profitable for yourself. Um, yeah. So I've got all sorts of stuff. One day I might actually give you a little tour behind the chaotic studio. It's chaotic only because it's not as organized as I liked. So I need to organize it for sure. But I'm also about I got to take care of the rest of stuff too. Um, as many may or may not know, I'm so a couple times over a widow, so I'm learning still, having to manage on my own. And some people don't understand that when when you're in that constant reliance on somebody else, and then all of a sudden that else is gone, so you have to learn for yourself, and it's freak out. It's like, oh my gosh. And it reminds me of when I was little and I was curled up in a ball on the sofa while my mom was vacuuming. And I had probably one of the worst thoughts that could come through a child's mind. I was like 6 years old. But I imagined being without my mom and dad. What would life be like? And I started to cry. I could not imagine it. I was like, what? And I never shared that with anybody. I don't even know if yeah, I did share that a couple of times with my mom. Um, but it's something that's to think about now as a lesson for now rather than dwell on the past. There's a few things that we've talked about that she's like, well, why didn't you tell me? It's like, it's water under the bridge. I wasn't able to, but it's okay. I don't hold anything because that's I could barely talk, you know. And I had a hard time picking up the English language. So, in fact, it's funny because I had a hard time picking up the English language, but they taught me through music in Spanish. So I am multilingual. And so, it, anyhow, I digress there. Um, I told her to not take that to heart too much. It was just something to learn because now here I am without those supports and having to really rely on myself. Now, I have so much gratitude because if it wasn't for my uncle and my family, I would not be here, in this house. Um, because it's been in the family since 1980. And I say that with gratitude, um, and with a little bit of pride because all the other family members have sold off their homes and done their own thing. So, yeah, there is a small pride element to it. But at the same time, there's a lot of respect too. Um, Coming to terms with um, having to do something for myself. Now, I personally feel that even young kids start working on independence because that's basically what it is. It's learning to be independent on all aspects. And I never quite learned the financial independence aspect. So that's why I'm bringing that up now, is to say that kids, even learning the basics to be financially independent, to run their own thing, to do their own, um, some people use an allowance to do it. But if they're not taught how to manage that allowance, then it doesn't work. Um, Speaking from experience. um, so now I'm basically giving myself an allowance for the moment as I work to build, um, and get into a new setting, a profitable business. And that's what I want to teach in this process, is how to run a profitable business even as a child. You know, there are children out there who run their own business and it's well to do. So, you know, sometimes they need their parents to help them out because of the legalities involved. And please don't be one of those parents who takes over and actually misuses the funds, because they're meant for the child, not for the parent. The parent just is there to be a guide and to help things out. So, anyhow, enough of that little pedestal. I'm basically getting ready to share about going live. I said I might do it within the week. Well, there you go. There's your answer. I'm going to be doing that, and I still have to figure out what I'm going to do. Because if you were to ask me, I'm going to go, I'll figure it out. I'll just figure it out. And that's the truth. I'm going to have to really punt because there's so many things. I could try amigurumi, and I know I just really massacred it. It's amigurumi. Yeah, amigurumi. Um, I might teach that on one of the sessions. Bead wire making. I won't do what I don't know. I think I may hold off on the weaving part just because I'm wanting to really focus in on items that I'm finding right off the bat, like cork, wire, bottle caps, pull tabs, pop the top pieces, the 6-pack plastic top pulls, and the 6-pack plastic app. So I may just work on those. So anyhow, I just wanted to share that I'm processing. I have written to 2 media places. We'll see what happens. I'm going to keep going to different media places and see what happens. I may need to share a lot more. Um, I know I'm a co-author on a few books. I might just share some of those. Um, yeah, so that's what it is for tonight. It's very, actually, kind of tranquil. Um, I promise it's going to get a lot more fun, and I did say it 10 minutes or less. So there you go. On the lives, however, I'm going to give you a heads up. I am not staying to no 10 minutes. Those are within 1 hour, because that's how much these meets that got postponed, they go for 1 hour. So I'll do 1 hour setting and see where I'm at each spot and sharing it. It may end up being like a ASMR teaching wire wrap, or doing 6-pack plastic and ASMR, or probably something ASMR because I'll keep it quiet. Anyhow, now I'm going over my 10 minutes. I'm sorry. But we'll see you tomorrow.